And now our commentators join in the conversation. They answer the question, what will Senator Mark Hatfield's lasting legacy be?
Oregon has so many things named for Mark Hatfield that you could find his legacy on a street map. But he leaves behind a couple of things in particular that loom higher than street level. For decades, there was a pipeline running from Hatfield's seat on the Senate Appropriations Committee to the medical school that overlooks downtown Portland. Now, a massively reconstructed Oregon Health and Sciences University is a national research player and the largest employer in the city. It's also a reminder not only of Hatfield's power, but of his values. Some appropriations chairmen leave behind the military base. Hatfield built a shining medical city on a hill. His other legacy doesn't actually have an address. It's an image of a senator with a strong, not always mainstream conviction, who stood by it, but was always ready to work with people from other viewpoints. It's someone who spent 4 decades as Oregon's top Republican, but left behind dozens of disciples in both parties. 30 years ago, Hatfield-style moderate Republicans dominated Oregon politics. Mark Hatfield died at a moment when his kind of politics and his kind of Republicans have almost vanished from anyone's map. But Oregonians will still measure politicians next to Mark Hatfield.
Senator Mark Hatfield left a legacy in Oregon that will never be duplicated. When I was growing up in the state, he was a state senator, a representative, the youngest Secretary of State, and its youngest governor for 2 terms. After that, voters chose him to represent them in the United States Senate for a career longer than any other in Oregon. When I covered him as a reporter, he stood out as the best interview you could get. He had a keen intellect and didn't mind being the maverick. He opposed Vietnam, the first Gulf War, and the balanced budget. As a Lieutenant JG, he drove a landing craft onto the beaches to deliver soldiers to kill and win a war. And then he walked through the ashes of Hiroshima. He came back to America and served his state and his country. And he brought home research and science money to fuel technological research in Oregon that might never have happened otherwise. That's his true legacy, that and being a real statesman. In the last 15 years, I've been a close friend of Senator Hatfield, despite the many policy issues we disagreed on, and he never let those get in the way of friends. You'll not find a more principled man or a man who has done more for this state than Senator Mark Hatfield. May he rest in peace.